This is the Loupedeck. As you can see, it's a programmable keyboard, has a series of knobs down the side there, some buttons, and of course these lit up icons. I've been using this for my PixInsight processing. Let's take a look at how it works. Well, you can see the Loupedeck now in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. It doesn't actually add additional functionality to PixInsight or to anything else actually. But what it does is it enables us to easily group together functions, easily turn them on, turn them off, that we use quite frequently. And that can be helpful when you're used to the kind of PixInsight interface where you have to hunt around sometimes, find what you want to do. It's similar to the idea of the icons that you can build up on your PixInsight screen. So let's start PixInsight. So all I did was press the PixInsight button that I have on my Loupedeck. And what it's going to do, it's going to do the normal launch of PixInsight on the screen. And so it's just coming up now. And so here we have PixInsight running. Well, what you may have noticed is that the Loupedeck has actually moved to some PixInsight icons. This is my special processing page. I can run around and press that, program that button down there on the left so that I can just switch around and pick up different sets of processing. So this is my pre-processing section. And so what might I want to do here? Well, maybe I want to open a file. So I'm going to open up, say, the HA Auto Crop version. There it is. I'll get rid of the crop detail. And the type of thing that I probably want to do at this stage is do a Control A to screen stretch it. Well, as you can see, I've already got a screen stretch. And so I have that there. Maybe I want to turn it off, so I'm going to reset it and so on. So I find this to be an easier way than the keyboard shortcuts. So what might you want to do here? Well, for me, one of the things I'd certainly be thinking about doing on this particular image would be maybe a gradient removal. And there's a script on here, Graxpert. I'm just going to do this. And as you can see, what it's just done is just pulled up Graxpert for me. And pretty much you can do all the same things with all of the scripts and processes in your PixInsight suite. I find that very useful. I also mentioned that I have different processing steps. So this is my linear processing step, and then just some special processing. And you can just set this up whichever way you want. So let's just go back to the linear processing. One of the things that I find that I really do like about this device is these knobs here. So these knobs allow us to simulate the mouse movement with those knobs. So I'll just show you how that works. So there we go. So I can do things like that. Programming the device is actually pretty straightforward. All we need to do is to launch the application that actually controls the Loupedeck, which comes with it. And up it comes. And you can see what it does. It gives us a picture of the Loupedeck as it's currently configured. And you can see up here it says main profile. That's the default. So this is the first one I built. This is prior to actually going into PixInsight, anything else. But if we go and actually pick up the PixInsight application, and there's a little thing to note here. It says adapt to application on. And what that means is that when it sees PixInsight running, it will automatically switch to a new set of screen of pages, I suppose, for want of a better word, so that you can actually have particular icons and they fire up when you actually launch the application. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to PixInsight, and you'll probably recall this as my pre-processing page. What I think we might want to do is add a process to one of these pages. So let's do that. I'm going to go to page 2, and I've got a space here. Let's add channel combination as a shortcut on our Loupedeck. So where do we want to put it, first of all? Well, we obviously want to put it in the PixInsight setup, and we probably want to put it on the linear processing page. Yeah, and I have a spare key here. By the way, I can add more pages without any problem. So we're going to add channel combination in here, but before we do, let's take a look at how you can actually get channel combination in PixInsight. So there's a number of ways of reaching channel combination. Obviously, I can go to process, all processes, and run down to channel combination. So there we go. Do that. Or we could pull it from an icon. But we can also use Process Explorer. And fortunately, PixInsight actually has Process Explorer as a screen shortcut, Control, Alt, and P. So I'm just going to do that for the moment. And it's pulled up Process Explorer. Now, all I need to do now is put channel combination in here, and I can search for it. In fact, it's already pulled it up, so let's do that. And so that's another way of reaching, that's another way of getting us to channel combination. All right. Well, how do we add or how do we assign channel combination to this? Well, first of all, we'll go here, and I'm going to create a custom action. And what I'm going to do is on multi-act, because there's going to be several actions I'm going to need to do. So let's call this RGB combo. Okay. And so now I'm going to add some actual commands into this. So I'm going to create a custom action, and I'm going to do a keyboard shortcut. And the very first thing I'm going to need to do is to open up the Process Explorer. So that's going to be Control Alt P, and I can either type that in or actually use the inbuilt function. So I can use a Control Alt, and if I want to, and then, sorry, not if I want to, but then add the text, in this case letters. Of course, I need to scroll down to them. So what that's going to do is going to open our keyboard. It's going to open our Process Explorer. Now I'm going to add a delay. I'm going to put in about 500 milliseconds. That seems to work very well. Okay. I'm going to add in a couple of tabs. Now what I'm going to do is add in the text that calls up channel combination. So let's do that. And we're going, let's take that and we're going to paste the text. This channel combination. You notice that I've actually spelt it the same way that they have it in Process Explorer without the space. And so I'm going to finish this off with a couple of returns. And so what we've done is we've added RGB combo into this spot on the Loupedeck. And if we look at the Loupedeck itself, the real physical one, you can see it's added it in. Now it's not a very attractive icon. So what we can do is press on this one, and we can do things like change the names. I've got RGB combo is fine, but maybe I want a better icon than that. So let's select an icon. I don't know, what should we do? There we go. That will work as an icon as an experiment. You know, we can do other things if we want. Here we go. That'll work. So we've got we've started to design our icons from a whole list of icons they provide you with. I've got all sorts in here. I think I'd prefer a different color. So let's say I'm going to do a red. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to save that. So that looks pretty good to me so far. So there's our RGB combo. Let's go back now to our PixInsight screen. And let's pull up RGB combo from the Loupedeck. And you can see it's pulled up. Process Explorer, there's our channel combination, and we're ready to go. So that's using the Loupedeck in PixInsight. I hope you found that useful. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.